Welcome. All right, this is going to be our first time trying a three-way live stream. We have Marine-X here coming in, as well as Chad Landman. So you might not know these guys. These guys are other YouTubers that make excellent EDC content. I have a link to their channels down in the description. Please check them out. But what's neat, we are actually streaming to all three channels at the exact same time, I believe. They're going
Yep,
to
I
check.
see it. Yeah, I can see mine. I can see mine.
That's cool. That's just awesome. I'm loving this.
Technology, man.
Yeah, I'm sure I could figure out a more sophisticated way, but this is way easier, so I'm all for it.
I appreciate you having us on, man. And I appreciate
Yeah.
this restreaming stuff is goated. This stuff is phenomenal.
Yeah, for someone who has no experience setting this up, I mean, being able to switch it, and if we were to talk about, and I'll show you when we go to like pull something up, we can have us down below, and then we can talk about the image, and I think it's really going to be a cool thing to do on a more regular basis. This is way more my style anyway.
You know, one thing I also like is that it's showing everyone's chat in Restream. Like
Whoa, that
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
that is
crap,
cool. I
it's
saw
right.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, Restream is powerful.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Right in the
You're
browser.
right.
Right
I'm
there.
seeing everyone else's chat.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to True Budget EDC. Thanks for being a member. Also, Chris Brown is a member as well. Appreciate y'all kicking the door in.
Yeah, that's cool. So you could see all that. I can see it from the. I can see this. That's powerful. That right there. That's a lot of integration.
Yes, I like
So
that.
I think this was definitely worth it. And it really wasn't that expensive. And if anyone's trying to do this, I think it was like $30 a month.
Okay.
Pretty
Yeah.
low.
Yeah, I mean, my stuff is like $21 a month. I think I would,
Yeah.
fork over $9 additional bucks to these folks.
I think the ability for people to stream on their own simultaneously with a very low entry is just way too good not to try it.
Right.
I'm all for that. So we're definitely gonna do some questions. So if you guys see a question, just let me know. We'll stop and I can highlight it so I can pull it up. And let me see if we can just double check, see how it highlights. And it even tells me what channel it's from. It's on right now. That's
Nice.
pretty sick.
That's
Awesome.
dope.
So if it says Marine-X, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. All
That's
right.
so cool.
That's kind of powerful. I'm not gonna lie. All right. So I had something kind of came up just yesterday, and I told you guys about it, but I didn't know they were shipping out so early. Have you guys heard of the Roxon Flex multi-tool?
Yeah, so the Roxon Flex, my chat told me about it probably 2 weeks. The day pre-orders went up. I went on there and I played with the tool, and I didn't pre-order only because I didn't want to be gluttonous. I modified my free P4 because after Leatherman stopped doing so many security bits on all the Leatherman on a lot of their multi-tools, it just makes modification so much easier. And so the free P4, I modded it and put in a 1/4 bit driver, and I sacrificed a crosscut file from a curl and had to put it in backwards and do some grinding.
Yeah, I
saw
saw that too.
It was good.
So the Roxon looks interesting, but I was like, I would just be spending money to spend money, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I mean, because I have to have one of everything, there's one reason. But if I was starting from scratch, if I was starting from the ground up, being the idea of starting a $40 tool and then picking and choosing, and the way you got to see the shipping, because it's not the way I thought they were going to do this thing. This is amazing. So let me see. I'm going to try to do this real quick. So I posted these right before. And let me see if it's how it's looking.
Oh, wow.
I automatically did it. Boom. I love it. So yeah, so this is, let's see how, I'm going to play around with this. So this is the image of all the stuff, but you can see with the packaging, they really, they made it in a way that looks like it's something I could find at a Lowe's or some sort of big box store. I'm
Ace
really
Hardware.
shocked at how hard they went on this.
Yeah. I mean, it's really Ace Hardware vibes.
I'm telling you, if this shows up at like Harbor Freight, it's gonna blow the doors off everyone. Like, look at this thing. It's got like, it explains all the stuff and how it works, 25-year warranty. And here's how the individual packaged tools come.
So
And they, go ahead.
do you have to have a bench vise to put this together? Like, how do you have to get it from both sides, or
Where is it? Hold on. Code it. I have my prototypes.
or can you just kind of squeeze it together with your knees?
It is only it's about as simple as you can imagine. There's a mechanism that what disengages the lock. If you press it even further, it locks into place, open. The tool goes past the 180 point and then pops out. It is the most simple, easy. It is amazing. Like, there's no tools involved. It's just pop in, pop out. And when you buy the tool, I noticed, because there's an unboxing video, someone got it up right away. The tool in the package comes with plastic spacers. So if you don't want the full thing filled, you just have to replace the particular area that you want, which is, I think, the best solution they could have come up with, frankly.
Yeah, that's
better
great.
than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, because with my Leatherman, if I want to leave blanks, I got to get a buttload of washers or think of something. You know?
Well, it comes in so the package comes with this is smart, spare set of cutters, very smart, and it also comes with a torque wrench to adjust the tool. So if you want it to slightly tune because there's no space between them, like there's no washers between them, so you're going to have some clumping. So you can control how much or how little of that you want.
I've been very interested to see this. Absolutely.
Yeah, I did a couple videos on it already because I got some pre-production samples. But the
second I saw your video, Dom, I reached out to them to see if I could get something from them. But
they probably would send you one if you ask. Yeah. I'm sure they will.
So, like, a lot of these folks, when they send it to you, are they expecting content, or they just send it to you, or what?
Well, I've been talking with them for a few years. Saw them at Blade Show, saw them at SHOT Show, and we've been communicating for a while through email for about a couple of years. So for me, they just send stuff when it happens. They don't ask for anything in particular. And actually, from what I know, who they sent to, they've just said, "Hey, check this out." Who wouldn't want to show it, though? It's just they don't have to say anything, really, right? Because who wouldn't want to show this thing? It's too good. As far as a conversation piece, even if you don't believe in it, you don't want it, it's still just, it begs the question: Victorinox, why aren't you doing this? Leatherman, why aren't you doing this? Well, we could talk about that, and I think that would be a cool conversation. But like, they have like this T8, right? It's T8 bit scalpel holder, small and large. So they have one that's in long slot or short slot. The blade, they don't have one-handed blades yet, so that's something that is noticeable.
Do you think this is too hard for somebody at the scale of Victorinox to do? Do you think this might be easier for a smaller company like Roxon to do?
Well, let me close this up for just a sec. So here's the thing. There is no one who could do this better than Victorinox if they chose to do it. They won't do it, and I'll explain why.
Well, they have their reasons.
Their entire platform is automated to such a degree. The accuracy with which they assemble a tool, like Leatherman wishes on its best day it could make a Victorinox tool.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen their like how it's made, like modern version of that, it is the most advanced, like sophisticated for an older design. It is ridiculous. But the general gist is they could program a machine and have it basically build everyone's as they go without question. They could do it. I mean, it's the Swiss. They're going to be able to do that. The problem is it does two things. It does three things. Number one, it eats into their own models, right? That already exist.
That's it right there. Money on the table. They're leaving too much money on there.
I don't think that's the biggest reason.
Yeah, maybe not.
It ends up coming full circle, but if you do that, no one will ever make a custom ever again, because they're so expensive by comparison to what Victorinox will sell them for. The whole custom market will fall apart overnight, just gone. The custom market is one of the biggest reasons that used Victorinox tools are still sold. meaning that there's inventory moving out of stores for used product. But if that doesn't happen, the millions of Victorinox tools they make every single year, they have nowhere to go. It's kind of like having a bunch of cars on a lot. You can't sell it till last year's gone, and the problem is they won't be able to move them as quickly. So
plus, I mean, to do that type of capital investment, it just, I don't know if that for them the juice is worth the squeeze. To if their customers aren't complaining, if enough customers aren't banging on the drums for it, to do that type of capital investment for the Swiss machines or for whatever they would have to do, because I'm assuming that it would be some kind of rework of plant or warehouses in order to make it this flexible to compete. But if they don't feel the need for it, if you don't feel someone nipping at your heels, you're not going to make that type of capital investment. It's going to take so many years to get that overhead, to catch up with that overhead cost.
This is a good question. What about the American service knife? Have you guys seen this yet?
I saw that question. I was wanting to answer it, actually. I've heard a lot of people talking about the American service knife. I want to hear what you have to say, though, Dom.
Okay. Well, I had a conversation with...
They're pricey.
Well, I had a conversation with Medford directly about this knife when it first came out, because I was pretty excited when it was announced. I thought, what a great idea. An American knife, premium steel, nice design, maybe, didn't have a pocket clip, which I was like, oh, maybe they'll make it later.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what if we are you going to make it so we can make our own tools and put it in? He not only said no, he said, if you do that, I will go after you with everything I have and I will tear down your company. I'm like, whoa,
all right,
bro. Okay. Calm yourself. But actually, if you've ever held one, they are very robust, very thick layers, very thick. Like, it's almost a 4-layer Victorinox for the same thickness of 2 layers of the acid knife.
Yep.
So
I saw one just a couple of weeks ago, and they are incredibly well built and Magna Cut steel on them.
But
yeah, but I don't know if they're worth the price, and it's a very interesting thing to think about as far as in the context of Victorinox and these Roxon tools, for sure.
Victorinox, well, I want to be clear. I don't think Victorinox will have to worry about any of these guys. No. Because even though they are so well made and they're made in Switzerland, the reality is they still sell them at such a low price, at such a high quantity. The sheer scale of Victorinox makes them almost untouchable. Even China cannot compete 1-to-1 on price with Victorinox. You can buy, I don't know, let's say a Deluxe Tinker, an incredibly high quality tool for like $45. They could never make that in China at that quality for that price, even if they were taking a lower percentage. That's how safe Victorinox is, but maybe not forever, but at least for the next decade, I think they're okay.
Another thing with Victorinox, at least whenever I go to Europe and it's just kind of a staple, the size, the look, the logo. It's not an oddity to pull that out of your pocket in, Rome, Italy, to open a package. You pull out a Wampin Leatherman, people are looking at you like, are you about to rob my store? Doesn't make it better. I'm black with dreads, but as well as just like it's a lot different when you're over there already and you're on, I'm on a bullet train coming from one part of Italy to another. It's okay to pull out a Victorinox and use the scissors to open up the little food that they give you or whatever. That's not an oddity. You can get a jet setter, and they're starting to make more of them without knives. At least I saw that on CNN.com. So it's like,
you guys saw the same article I did. Probably.
Yep, I did.
This is actually where they're going to lose a lot of money. So this is this is exactly the space where modular tools make sense and where they would consider doing it, where they would make a modular open source. I keep wanting to show the Roxon prototype, but I can't do that yet. And they are making a Swiss Army knife variation of their same tools, just a smaller handle you can put in your pocket.
Who is Roxon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't show it yet, but this is where they could do very well as Victorinox. They could make a modular system, but specifically they don't make available knives at all. Like, so the way they get around the law part is like, oh, well, you can be, you could just go grab that knife and put it in there now. Like, no, we literally don't make it for this modular platform. So basically they make it modular for everything but the blades.
What's the base price? Someone's asking in God's Guns Coffees. I wonder the base price of the
For
Roxon.
which one?
The Flex, the
Oh, the
Roxon.
Flex.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't find the comments now because they're going to fly real quick. But yeah, so the base price. So here's what blew my mind because I thought it was different. The tool itself with the handle is $40.
Okay.
And then like every component ranges between $4 and $8 is the highest price for each of the individual implements. The quarter-inch bit driver, the one that uses standard quarter-inch bits, magnetic, is $5. Okay. So to give you an idea. So it also takes up 4 slots. So it's actually cheaper to build with the bit driver, funny enough, because like you have one whole side that's just $5 plus a blade or whatever the long tool is. So the drawback, as people have said, is there's only one long implement on each side. But I was able to find a way around this. I was able to get 4 long implements in there. I did a video on that as well. And so in theory, you can get up to 4, depending on which combination you make. So there's a little, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, that's for sure.
It's so interesting, though. It's such an interesting idea. And you wonder why people didn't come up with it before.
Well,
but I think you nailed it. They did. Okay.
Yes, the goat tool. That one.
Yes. I forgot about the goat tool. There's somebody before, way about probably 100 comments ago.
So I actually did have a Roxon Flex on the table. I forgot I had that. Yeah.
Somebody mentioned the goat tool earlier.
So actually, this one, these are some prototype tools I was going to show in a future video of gun-related prototype tools. I'm not actually 100% sure because I didn't write it down. This is one of them. I believe it's a bolt extractor. I'm not 100% sure. And then on this side, we have a couple other tools. But I'll show you how the basic gist of the whole thing. Sorry, trying to find the camera here. So you can see there's a couple of specific gun-related tools, a little punch. There's some things they're testing, and that's the kind of stuff they tend to send. But the way it works, and I'll try it from this side, is sorry, I keep trying to find where the camera is. All right, so we have a little button here on the side, and there's also a lock. This lock keeps the tools in. So even if you loosen it up, they don't come out, which is quite nice.
That's good.
So when you want to do it, you take it and you slide it out. But the way it works is, let's say I want to take this file out. It's locked in place. To disengage the lock, you press down and you close it. But if I go all the way back, even further, it locks in place. You see how it sticks out? And then this goes past.
And pull it out. Oh, nice. Okay.
It pulls out. And then it's
Very
just
nice.
a simple matter of just doing the opposite to go back in. You close it. Whoops, I put it on the wrong side. But yeah, you just close it.
So it's toolless. Like you don't have to have another tool. You just have to.
No.
How does it do with hard use though? Like if you're I can imagine.
This is not. I would say there's no way this is a Super Tool 300 replacement.
Okay.
This is that. Let me put it this way: most of the companies are safe in some ways. Like it's not going to replace the Dual Force, the center drive, or the Super Tool 300 Surge. Like it doesn't have. It does have an upgraded plier compared to their past generations, which I'm actually very pleased with. It's spring-loaded, replaceable cutters, and actually, I think they did a very good job. It's a 9-ounce tool, approximately fully loaded, so it's kind of in that mid-range.
My question, I guess I also wonder is like, I want to see, so there's going to be a lot of overview videos pumping out, unless you had an early production model, because a lot of folks may have had, pre-production models or prototypes. But I want to know, like, overview videos are good to see 3-dimensional what it looks like in someone's hand. But I'm looking forward to review videos of someone who used it for simple tasks like, shaving down your mailbox to make it fit correctly versus the HVAC tech versus, an electrician who's trying to sand down some drywall because he's doing a quick, just to see how does it work in different scenarios. Yeah,
and it's going to fail. And here's the thing. I'm actually kind of happy about it because let's say the plier fails.
Yeah.
They send you, for them, it's cheaper because they literally send you that box with just the frame, right? They just, here you go. Like, it's so much cheaper than putting labor into it. The product is probably cheaper than if they were to fix the thing. So that's cool. But I did take this to Georgia Bushcraft when I went to their demo days
A couple months ago, yeah.
A couple months
was it
ago.
last month? I think it was. I saw it on Instagram, but
I want to say,
yeah, it was March.
Yeah, it was March. Yeah, it was awesome. Wow, that was awesome. But it is by far the most ergonomic multi-tool I have ever used, ever. I mean, full stop. Like the round.
So why do you say that? Yeah, is it because it's rounded off?
Yeah, what they did, and the reason why it weighs so much is there's a second layer of steel that's been.
It's like a liner.
So yeah, essentially that's what's hiding the mechanism underneath, and it's on both sides. So it makes it heavier, but it also makes it, when you're putting it in your hand, and I'm like was carving with it like for an hour, no problem, like zero hot spots at all. And I have never had that experience, even with like this is probably one of the best ones. The Swiss Tool Spirit is one of the better ergonomic tools, and even this one was less ergonomic than the Roxon, which is kind of crazy.
I got to tell you, it doesn't look ergonomic, and it doesn't look like it would feel good. But I'll take your word for it.
Thankfully, it's because they put the clip the right place. Like if they had put the clip on the same side as your palm would be, it would be less ergonomic. But thankfully, they put it tip up the way it's supposed to be. So.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here holding a free P4, and I know I love the free P4 because of the free technology. But you know, when it's time to put in work with a pair of pliers, for me personally, I like holding the Gerber Dual Force, or even my older MP600 that was issued to me in the Marines. It's those feel more comfortable for long use versus the free P4. But
I got to say, I got the T4 right here, and it just does not, ergonomics wise, using the blade is okay, but I've usually got another blade, and basically using any other tool is not incredibly ergonomic. But of course, I'm not using this for long periods, of course, but I still like it.
And it's still one of the good ones. It's definitely one of the good ones. I want to pose this question to all of us. I think this is a good question. Marine-X, if you were going to pick one under 100, which is a tougher thing nowadays, which one would you pick?
So under 100, I got to go with things I've actually put my paws on before.
Which you should.
And so under 100, what jumps out immediately at me is if you're okay with the tool set, and some of the tools that are missing is the Leatherman Bond, the Dual Force on it. Even though I love the pliers on the Dual Force. It doesn't have pocket clips, not designed to go in your pocket. MSRP is $99, but it's normally on sale between, $69 to $89.
It's like $80 usually.
So those would kind of be where I would lean towards, but I would also look towards like the Power Pint or something like that. So if you put me in, if you said choose one now or else, I would just go for the Dual Force and just suck it up.
I have going back to the Dual Force. What I found that's missing, like you were saying, there is no video out there of like, I don't know, like a guy who works on a truck.
Yeah. And
all he does all day is bind things to that bed and use that Dual Force and go crank. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see someone post an angry video of like 6 months of use because he shattered that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to hear it. Because like there's those videos for everybody. There's even the tough guys, the Super Tool 300, and I've seen those. And I think that's the real telltale of whether people are actually putting it through their paces. I can't do it. I don't know.
No, most of my stuff is just tinkering around the house. I do a lot of DIY around my house, but nothing is that hard use. And B, if I know it's hard use, I put together a little bag of real tools and take that to the room I'm about to work in. It really just depends.
Yeah, Chad, what do you think?
Sub $100. That was one of the things that I actually did, because before, when the Leatherman art came out, I thought this is going to be the first multi-tool, the true multi-tool that I buy. Believe it or not, I do not own any multi-tools, but I actually settled on, I had always had the Power Pint, and I love the Power Pint. I mean, you cannot beat this thing. It's even sub $50. and you cannot beat this thing for that price.
So 40.
Yeah, it's 40. And but then I guess it was kind of an upgrade, but I have actually had this in my car, in my toolkit, and used it very regularly. Was the one that what just talked about was the free T4.
Yeah,
and it's like what,
all
70,
the ones they
75.
made, that one was good.
And if you're asking me under $100, this is where I'm going right here.
I said I made a video about the Bond. I still stand by that statement, but I think by today's standards, the curl is the modern wave that was from 1999. Like if you were talking about the experience I got my Leatherman wave Christmas 1999, carried it for like 10 years. The
what a good
experience
memory.
I get with the curl feels like that, because I feel like it's less fluff. Like I'm not trying to get add-ons. I'm not trying to mess around with cutters. I'm not doing it. It has the pocket clip, comes in it. It has the right tool set I like. I'm so pleased with it, actually. Surprised. But yeah, I like it.
Oh, Patriot Fever found the Power Pine at Shields for $20. That is an insta buy at $20.
That's a very good price. You can get them still on AliExpress. That's the nice thing I like about the SOG tools. You can actually find a bunch of them online if you don't live in America, which is great. This is I'm just going to answer this question real quick. I don't know, but I'm going to push them to do so. That's all I wanted to say real quick.
Oh, for D2?
Yeah, D2, like they have so like this is one of their upgraded models. This is the I broke the clip off of it on purpose, but this is their flash. It has a similar mechanism for deploying all the inner implements, but they upgraded the smaller ones to be German 4116 stainless, so it's a much more improved steel. And then the blade is D2.
I want to see more tool companies, especially for multi-tools, use. I don't see a lot of them doing it, but like A2, I've seen I had a Hogue knife I just sold that I used for a while that was using A2, which is like a D2 on steroids when it comes to sharpening in the working edge after the factory edge goes away. I don't know how much more it would cost, but it just, I don't know. I kind of want to, I don't know why. I don't know if it's the carbon isn't high enough or if it's too costly or whatever. I want to see more of that, especially if that could be suited in a multi-tool overall.
I think where Roxon is kicking everyone's butt is that tool has Victorinox level steel and everything but the blade, which is D2, and it's only $43 with replaceable wire cut. I mean, like, they're really cleaning everyone's clock right now. They're jumping up to the point where, like, I can't ignore Roxon in the tier list. I actually am redoing my little tier list thing because I'm like, I can't ignore Roxon and Nextool anymore. These are two companies that are genuinely making their own designs.
Yeah.
And they're really upping the game. Like,
so
a lot.
Designed in the States, made in China, or what?
No, these are designed in China, made in China. Now they have distributions here in America, so they have employees here. They sell it here and so on. But no, they're designed. I met the teams when I was at SHOT Show. They really want this market. They're like, no, we're gonna figure it out, and they're getting there. Nextool is behind Roxon though. Roxon is going to kick people's butt with the Flex, I think.
Will they be at Blade Show, you think? Blade Show Atlanta?
I know for a fact they will, and they will have Flexes for sale. I know because I just talked to them today.
Y'all gonna be there or what?
You better bring enough.
I'll be there. Can't wait.
You driving or what? How you getting there?
I'm flying.
I am driving. I'm driving.
Okay.
Yeah, I send stuff FedEx. I send stuff FedEx to the hotel, and then I send it back FedEx. Because I'm not going to go to Blade Show with no blades. That's just not happening.
Oh, I always go to Blade Show with no blades.
So you can leave with them, so you had justification for buying more.
Yeah, I go to Blade Show with no blade, and I will buy. So I went to Blade, Texas. Obviously, I live 40 minutes away, and CDC gave me a Hanson, but I ended up buying I can't even remember. What did I buy? I don't remember what I bought, but I go there with nothing. A, so pocket checks are boring because I don't have anything in my pocket, and then B, it gives me a reason to set aside $200 to buy something. This
will be my second time going. I did learn that stop at the Kaiser booth first. That was my mistake.
Yeah, Kaiser's
Why you
on
say
my
that?
short list.
Okay, I got a carbon fiber handled titanium milled clip S35VN folding knife with incredible, like just all good.
Yeah.
$35.
They
Was it
had
a fact?
No,
amazing
not
deals
factory
going.
seconds. Like discontinued. They're
Yeah.
just trying to
Yeah.
get rid of them. Like,
It was awesome.
dude,
Wow.
they have like one left. They're like, here, there's one left. Like, it's like here. It's like quickly get it before it goes. Like it's that kind of thing. So like, there's the models continue to rotate throughout the 3 days stretch because they're constantly just dumping them. I'm hoping I get another Milita. I don't know if you saw that one, but it is.
Yes.
Most of the Kaisers I get are like meh, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
S45. It's a polished like oil slick DLC, and the tuning is perfect, and that never happens.
So, I mean, Kaiser, the first time they reached out to me a couple months ago, and I said, hey, I don't, we talked for a while, and I said, I don't want to promise you any content, so you don't have to send me anything because I'm probably not gonna. I don't do a lot of knife videos. I just don't. And they were like, well, I
But
think
I
you'll like
enjoy
this.
your knife videos. I will say I enjoy them very much.
Yeah, when they come up, because they're few and far between. But I said, they sent me a drop bear and a sheep. What is it, sheepdog? I think that's what it's called. And I was like, these are. I love their version of what they, their version of a crossbar lock. I think that they do it well. They're whatever they call their version of the axis lock. I don't know what they call it, but that drop bear, that thing is a penny dropper. That thing's pretty
clutch
nice.
lock. It's called clutch lock.
Yep.
Yeah, the drop bear is nuts.
Yeah.
It is disturbingly good.
And it's what,
I'm really
110? It's
thankful
not
that,
it's not very expensive at all.
What is?
It's like 110 bucks. It's not very expensive at all.
What used to be, now you can get the 154 CM version for like 65.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like, and actually wait till Blade Show though. You'll get some of those because there's so many variations now. I guarantee they have a couple there, and they have a couple that are clutch locks that are the bigger size that I wanted to take a look at. I don't need more. Let me put it this way: I'm trying to get rid of knives. And,
so yeah, I get rid of stuff. I do EDC cyber sales, and I get rid of stuff because I just don't. I feel gluttonous if I have too much EDC crap laying around because this is my man cave. It's not just a YouTube studio. Like just where I hang out with buddies. I don't want to come over here and they're like, hey, dude, why do you have 15 bags sitting on your floor over there? so, I try to get rid of crap when I can.
Now, I did see a question. So, because I usually do a giveaway during the live stream. And starting this month, we're not doing that anymore. But we are for members. And I'll just quickly say this. 5 winners for last month. I'm gonna post that about today. And then 5 winners for members at the end of this month. So there will also be benefits. I wanted to let you guys know something I found out. Bird IV, I don't know if you know their channel. They sell all their knives on Etsy, which I was like, really? You can do that? That's kind of crazy. I didn't know. Okay. But what I found out, which is even better, is that you can make listings that are private listings on Etsy and no one sees unless they have a link to it. So if you have if you wanted to do like a membership perk where you give huge discounts and you only want first come first serve, but they're huge discounts, you can do that. And I think I'm going to try that to see, because when I do sell it, it's all going to be 50% off.
That makes sense. So what I normally do is I have a website and I'll make listings that are private and then just send people the link if they want it. And because my website's already set up to take payment, I can just do it that way.
I want to get to that point. One of the things that was 2024 goals is real major website update. When I was at Georgia Bushcraft, we had an SEO expert do a seminar, and my mind was like, the amount of money you leave on the table not having a proper website is just spend that money up front.
Yeah.
That's part of my day job. I get that. That's part of my day job. So if you want some advice, some nerd advice, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. We should.
Yeah, that's perfect. Because I just asked a bunch of folks who were willing to. So on my website, I have an article section. I'm trying to get that going again. There's a lot of folks that want to write for my website, so we're going to get,
What platform do you use, X?
Wix. I used to use Wix is pretty good. I like to have a lot of control over what I can do. and I can go into developer mode and do crap, or I can get out of developer mode and just use templates.
Oh yeah, Wix is fantastic. Wix is Wix and Squarespace. I've used Squarespace. I've built about 30 different websites with Squarespace.
So
and it's
you
it's
can
amazing.
get some of these deals now, just for people who were wondering. So this is like, look,
show
4V, 4V, $54. 4V. M390, $74. Like M390, $44 for M390 and Warncliffe. They sell stuff like this, like really cheap. Like these are sold. Some of these are sold out.
Dropberry is on my short list to
yeah,
buy.
you get the idea.
So one thing I will say is like weekly I try to put together an EDC deals episode and give folks deals I find, and I usually buy some crap first and then show the people the deal so it doesn't sell out. But I always find myself on Kaiser. I'm like, hey, listen, I feel like I'm telling you guys Kaiser deals every week, but they are, the fact that they can produce and they also OEM for other people. They just have this, if I ever find myself over there in Asia, they have this production facility. Obviously, it must be gigantic.
Ben was just there. Ben Peterson from NAFS he's been sharing images of his whole trip. He visited China. He went to the Kaiser factories, and he went to Wee Knife Co. factory as well. So if you ever want to see pictures of what it's like there, it looks pretty normal, honestly.
Yeah, I need to text him and see if he'll send me some info. I would go out there too.
Ben is one of the best people, and he is like the best of us when it comes to the knife industry. Not even just about knives, just a good person. Just awesome. And cool. He always, introduced me to people I've never met, which is so cool. But no, I just want to quickly say, Wazoo. If you don't know about Wazoo, they have these really cool, like, take all their gear, throw it in a bag. That lasted 1 hour, and it was just gone. They were just gone because the word is out. There's like $600 in each bag, basically, and so it's like $50-$60 or something for like what? It's like hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. Anyway,
wow,
I can't walk away from that. It's why I got to stay off of CountyCom. I don't know if you guys know CountyCom.
Oh yeah.
That website is crack, and no one should ever go onto it. Just stay away.
I cannot visit that website without coming away with $35 worth of stuff and getting like 7 different items. I mean,
it's not even a good website. It's not even a good website.
Right. Yeah.
It's so crazy because, I was on CountyCom and I got a little knife maintenance area. It's very simple. I got some silicone mats from Amazon, and I have a Wera stubby 1/4 receiving screwdriver that I use. I like to use that because I don't like to use electric screwdrivers. When I'm sitting down to actually work on a tool, I like to just use manual tools, and it works just fine. It does what I need to do. I can throw in T6s or T10s if for whatever reason. I don't need the fancy one that spins in your hand. But I'm on County. I was like, man, maybe I should just pick it up for the aesthetics, or make it more enjoyable.
No, and actually, my favorite one is the one Ben actually came up with, because one, it's cheap, and two, even without the little rubber gaskets, it spins perfectly, and it's actually just the right length. Weirdly enough, he really did a good job. But
you could torque down on it if you need to with your hand.
It's a 4mm holder, so I wouldn't say not. I would say like not really. Like I have and I have them kind of laying on the table, but I have the little fix-it sticks. These are the ones I use if I really got to go down. And actually, they gave me is it them? No, 711L gave me a torque thing which measures how much torque you're actually putting, like the actual foot-pounds. So if I needed to, like I don't work on firearms, like I don't do that type of work. But I would imagine if you do, those screws, if you mess those up, it's a bad day. So they have special little torque adjustments for those. Fix-It Sticks has some really expensive kits.
Yeah, it's expensive. I only own one of their kits, and it cost me like $120.
Yeah, the quality is good. It's all made in Taiwan. Very good stuff. So that I mean, we can. I mean, I don't know where we started the conversation, but this is really cool. Is there anything specifically you guys want to bring up or want to talk about?
What you got, Chad? I know something on your mind.
Seeing that tier list video of the blade steels that, what's his name? Metal
Metal
Complex put out.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree with his categorization?
Real quick.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
How long is it?
Oh, it's
it's
like a 40-minute video, but I took a screenshot at the end when he got done because I was like, I'm gonna be able to talk to people about this.
No, this is easy. I can just pull it up and then freeze it. It's not a big deal.
Yep.
So most of the time, and while he's pulling it up, most of the time with YouTube, I listen to YouTube with the screen turned off and the phone in my pocket.
Me too.
So if your content
that's
needs
the way
me
I
to
listen
watch
to you
it,
all the time, X.
Yep. Oh, appreciate that. I put people to bed.
Well, you've put out a lot of good stuff in podcast form and stuff, and I love just turning that on. And I got YouTube Premium, so I just listen to it on the headphones. And while I'm going down, I had a 7-hour drive this weekend, so I heard a lot of you.
So I'm trying to take advantage of YouTube Music and putting out podcasts. They're pushing that big, and it does help with discoverability. Also, streaming vertically, that helps with discoverability as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
S120. I've never even heard of that.
So, okay.
There's some I've never heard of on here. And
so
I'm glad to hear you say that.
This is an important context for people who are coming in and going, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
Okay. There are so many knife steels out there. Once you reach a point where it's less about using it every day and more about what does it feel like to what does it feel like to cut this thing? What does it feel like to sharpen this thing? I mean, there are just an incredible number. Now, because I'm a chemist and I love reading about this stuff, I geek out on it, but I really don't care that much.
Yeah, that was my main question was, does it matter? Do you care? And most importantly, does the average person, the non-EDC, not paying attention average person care? And I think the answer is no to all of those.
Great questions. Great questions. But I will tell you, there is one category of premium steels that I think have a justifiable reason to exist in knives for an everyday carry perspective. Now, when it comes to fixed blades and the functionality of really something you could stake your life on, an emergency tool, that's a different context. And I think that's another one. But steels that can take any type of corrosion, any type of abuse in an environmental perspective have a place, I believe. I really do. Because even if you had a fixed blade, having the ability to put like a chef's knife folded into your pocket that you could literally let sit in an ocean is very different. Like, it's very unique. It's a unique category. Yeah. Like, and so when we looking at this list, what you'll notice a lot, and he tells it by the way, this is really important. He gives some context at the beginning of this thing that's very, very important to the whole tier list, because he didn't say like which is better.
Right.
Crap. What did he say? I forgot.
I know what you're talking about, but he was very careful in it, and I appreciated that, actually. He was very careful in how he said it.
Yeah, context is everything. It's why when I did my tier list on multi-tools, I didn't say which was better. I said which ones are irreplaceable.
Yeah.
That was how I rated it. Well, let's just talk about his steels, because like the steels that are there, because some of these are really weird and you've probably never heard of them. So
I know that, well, before you jump into that, and I I agree with you, like, it really depends on how important it is to you. One of my buddies is he's an underwater welder, and he works in different places around the world, and he fixes all sorts of stuff underwater. And he was off the coast of Brazil, and he takes a knife with him from Terrain 365. They're knives that are, I don't know if you ever seen their knives before. They're made of terrarium or I don't know what it's made of. I saw them at Blade.
The second one at the top, it's dendritic cobalt. That's actually the actual formal
name of it. So he takes that in the ocean with him and has no issues. He can use it underwater.
It's not steel, so it actually does not. It's literally not iron at all.
Yeah.
It's like using titanium, basically. It's a completely different thing.
It can't take a beating. Like you absolutely cannot hit that with a log or anything like that. Terravantium. That's what it is.
That's it's like saying Band-Aid.
Palmer.
It's like
the brand name. Yes, the brand name of it. Yeah, so that was, so I see that right next to the S125V, which I've never even heard of that. Makes a lot of sense why it costs so
Imagine
much
like a
for it.
glass cannon where it can cut like forever, but you hit something wrong, it's gonna chip it. basically.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I do think it's
Man,
interesting in this list. Okay, so you know what? Rather than going to specifics, because no one really cares, I think
Yeah.
going back to the bigger picture of what you were saying, Marine-X, about should you care?
hmm
That's the more important question. Should you care?
Well, I know what
I
I
think
care about when I
right,
choose a knife. I know the things I care about, which
right.
is I care about the working edge after the factory edge and the beauty goes away. Like how long until I got to sharpen that trash? Like how long can I go before I have to sharpen it? And if you only own 2 knives, you know, I own 50. Well, now less than 50. I'm proud of myself. But when, you know,
oh
when I own
wow,
50
good for you.
knives, then it's like, oh, I don't really feel like sharpening that. Let me just grab another. I'll put that on the desk and I'll watch a NASCAR race this upcoming weekend and I'll sharpen it during the NASCAR race. But some of my buddies, one of my buddies has a benchmade griptilian. The butterfly logo is completely rubbed off. He hasn't sharpened it in years. He's a nurse, and he carries that with him every day at the hospital, and he just wants to know, like, how long is the working edge going to work? I don't care, whatever I need to pay for to not have to sharpen it as often. He doesn't care about
Right.
HRC. He doesn't care about that stuff.
I mean, I think the thing you should care about is your context. Your context. I mean, that's the way we say it, right? It's
Yep.
what is the context? I came to a simple realization is that I have these incredible, like right now I'm actually EDCing a fixed blade because I want to, not because I need to, but because I want to. It's Ben's awesome little Magna Cut fixed blade. Does it need to be Magna Cut? Do I need it? No, I don't. Because this is actually what I mean, if I'm being honest with myself, from 1999 forward, I was okay with just using this as my knife. I've always been. And okay, why am I doing it? So I've already gotten rid of that whole conversation. Like, why am I carrying something extra? Because I want to, because I like
Right.
it, because I like the person who makes the thing, or this is the tool, and then the rest of it is maybe a compliment. But I have weaseled my way into creating a context to carry a knife that is like Van X Super Clean or LC200 or Magna Cut that is completely corrosion resistant. So I have weaseled my way into that. Like I just got the Para 2
Nice.
that from
Very nice.
Knife Joker sent me this. He's a good guy. I met I think I want to say Travis. I want to say Travis, and at a SHOT Show, and he hooked me up with not only this one but the Crewwear Para 3 exclusive he has. And just like,
Which steel is on that Para 2?
The Para 2 is Magna Cut.
Okay,
at 63.
I had someone talking to me earlier. I did a members only live stream earlier, and he was like, "Hey, are you going to get a Crewwear PM2 or a Magna Cut PM2?" And I was like, "I have the S45VN, and I messed up the tip on with some acid or working on my pool recently, but it's still fine. It looks like crap, but it's just I don't, as much as I would love it, I don't need it, if that makes sense."
Well,
Yeah,
what do
some
you
people
need?
want to buy expensive stuff. No one here is arguing with that point.
That is completely
not
true.
at all. Not at all. And in fact, like when we talk about knives that are just mind-blowingly good for low cost, this bad boy right here, which is the Cold Steel Airlight.
Yeah.
Have you tried one of these things?
Is that what is the Triad?
It's a Triad lock, but look at how thin it is.
Yeah.
I beat this through a 2x8 with a rubber sledge, and it still didn't break. And it's only G10. There's no steel liners in this. I just don't understand. Like, if we're talking about working knives, I
expect that from a Cold Steel, though. I mean, I've done live streams where we literally stay up late at night. I drink bourbon and we watch Cold Steel commercials from the 90s. Like, it's just, and watch.
I'm going to cut this with the kukri, but first I'm going to shoot it with the 357 Magnum. It's
exactly.
like the quintessential.
Yep.
The guy is a god. He has been at SHOT Show and Blade Show. I have missed him every time. This time,
you're going to see him. Yeah.
See that man. I must see that man this year.
If he's not cutting off the head of a hog, though, then I don't want to meet him. I need to see him.
Don't ask him for do not ask him for a pocket dump or any of that stuff.
No, yeah, I don't like when folks ask
He
me
ain't
that
got
in
time for
person.
that. Yeah.
The man has a arsenal. Just don't. he did Zach's cut test with the paper with his cane. He took the cane out. It's like,
yeah, I saw that. I remember seeing that.
That was great.
Bananas.
I love that man so much.
Yeah, I love just sitting watching those. If I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna go live and just watch Cold Steel commercials.
Oh, it's just good stuff. Okay, have you seen the Will Ferrell skit on Jimmy Kimmel Live with
Let me write this
where it's
down.
called The Knife Guys?
I'm gonna write this down.
Oh no,
I haven't.
Have you seen it? I have.
No.
It's so good. I took screenshots of the facial expressions to use as like backgrounds potentially. Like, it is like the greatest thing you've ever seen. I don't know if I can pull up like a short of.
I'm writing that one down.
It's so funny.
Is it recent or is it like
they came on a couple times?
Okay.
That's Ryan Gosling. It's Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell.
Oh wow!
How long is this? This is 4 minutes.
Hold on, what program is it? Because some YouTube stuff they'll freaking immediately get you.
Yeah, they will.
If we're watching it, it's considered, it's fine.
No,
it's on YouTube.
Copyright strike or something.
Sometimes some of these companies have so much power because I do so many
you
live streams.
Right. You know, we'll skip it. But you gotta check out. You gotta check out Knife Guys.
Yeah,
it is some of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I wrote it down.
It's like the guys from the Home Shopping Network.
Yep.
But they crashed Jimmy Kimmel's like show to do this little bit.
Funny.
And take his show away for like 16 minutes. Shut up, Jimmy. Like, it's great. It's so good. If you haven't seen it, you have to. It's so good.
Wow. I'm writing this down.
Let me see.
So one thing I want is what parts of your everyday carry do you make the purchase? So I've done a video before, 4 items I splurge on and then items I absolutely want. And there's some items that I purchase that just bring me joy. So therefore, you know, I buy the item, you know, so certain watches, certain pens, because I journal every morning. But then there's other things like I'm okay with although I have these knives, I'm okay if I got stuck with a Civivi Elementum button lock, you know, forever. So what items in your everyday carry is a splurge either because of its usefulness or aesthetics or it brings you joy? Either of those 3.
Such a good question.
Ooh, yeah.
Go ahead, Chad, because I need to think.
I'm sitting here looking at one that is not, it is in my bag all the time, but I could easily replace it with another tool. And it's just because I love the guy who put it out and I love the actual tool itself. I just think it's really neat. It's a great fidget. It's the Peter McKinnon camera tool. Have you seen this thing?
Oh, yeah. I really wanted one, but they sold out.
Yeah, I mean, I got it on the drop and I was like, I'll splurge on this. And if I don't like it, I'll sell it. I have used the ever-loving fire. He did. He really did. I mean, I just love it. I wouldn't EDC. I would not put this thing in my pocket. It's too bulky. It's too heavy. But as a camera tool and as a tool for my day job, where I'm constantly changing out things that are that hex key big, you know, that Allen key set big, and I got all these other interchangeable things. It's just amazing for me, and I've gotten so much use out of this. And plus, I just like fidgeting with it too. So that's my choice right there.
It's a really good question.
Weird choice.
I got to tell you, I have more wallets.
Yeah.
Than almost like specifically leather. I have a couple of leather workers that contact me every once in a while and say, "Hey, do you want one?" They're like my drug dealers. They're like, "Hey, I got this new leather in. You want to try it?" No, but yes. And so no, I get people, they know me now and they know my style enough that they specifically pick colors, and I'm like, I will take it. So wallets, I have a ton of leather wallets, but specifically leather wallets or things that are made by hand that I can carry with me. Have you ever heard of Meta Katharina leather?
No, that from my
No.
It
with
will
animals. That silk from a cow or what?
absolutely freaking blow your mind. Okay, it's not a, like a animal.
Yeah.
It's a tanning process that was lost for 700 years, and they figured it out. And 2 companies in the world are now making this leather.
What
Okay,
is it called
Marine-X,
again? What is it called again?
Meta
Meta
Katharina,
meta spell like it sounds.
Metta, I think.
Okay.
Katharina.
I
Anyway, it's the
know I've
name of
heard
a
of that.
ship. It's the name of a
Yeah.
ship that was
Yeah.
sunk, a Russian ship. So they found the ship. They finally found a shipwreck. Like it was like 2004 or something like this.
This is
And
the most
they
epic
brought up.
story.
Yeah, so this is great. The story's too good. Okay, so they bring this leather up. They make stuff out of it because it's still good because the tanning process prevents water incursion. The tanning does not use animal products. It uses like hickory and I don't know what else, but it smells like, I swear to God, it smells like bourbon and actual smoked hickory, not like the barbecue, but like the burnt
Ooh.
wood.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
smells like
Ooh.
that all the time and still does. It is it is ridiculous. It is the greatest thing you've ever seen. You have to get something in this leather. It will
Please
blow
bring
your
that
mind.
to Atlantis just so I can
Yeah.
smell it.
Yeah, I have I'm swear to God, I don't know how it can hold the smell. It's so crazy. It's
See,
amazing.
things that bring me, listening to that now makes me want to research it. See, the things that bring me joy that I spend the
Research
money
is
on
Yeah.
is like things that have a historical context that I can link to my EDC. So, like, you can easily grab me by the scrotum with a good story with a field watch, if it has to do with World War II or Vietnam. You know, I own a Boker M4 knife, which is made from the M4 Sherman tanks.
Yep.
That's cool.
And so,
That's
like,
cool.
that type of stuff, it brings me joy. So somebody may say, well, X, you spent, $900 on that watch, or you spent $500 on that watch. I'm like, yeah, but this is a company who won the first contract in Vietnam to make a watch that can go 1,000 feet below sea level or 30,000 feet for pilots. And it was worn by CIA officers. It was also worn by Navy SEALs. Like, so that type of heritage kind of grabs a hold of me. And I'll splurge on those items within my everyday carry, so.
Yeah. No, I actually, unfortunately, I got the watch bug a little bit. I will refuse. I don't like mechanicals, but
Oh
and
my
I just made.
gosh, you just hurt my heart.
No, in fact, I just finished. I'm not finished editing yet, but I did my video is 0 mechanical, 100% awesome is the name of the title.
Oh my gosh, why don't you like mechanical?
I'll give you like
you're being
6
targeted,
reasons.
X.
So first of all, I hate things that are not accurate, and
Okay,
I can
yeah, it
notice
loses
it's a
about 2
minute
seconds a
off.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the first one. But the bigger reason is my experience with them was I had them, I loved them. They started getting out of whack. I went to go get them fixed or tuned up, and they're like 150 or $200. I'm like,
Yeah.
the watch was $275, and you're asking me to pay how much?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's probably cheaper just to buy a new movement. I'm like, that is the most wasteful thing ever.
Chad, what do you like? Tell me you like mechanicals, man.
I don't.
I like them. I watch
I'm
content
sorry.
on it, but I won't wear them.
So listen,
it's not that I don't have anything against mechanicals. It's just not my thing.
Okay. So I did a video, 5 ways a watch can save your life.
Oh, here he goes.
And there's just so many things that it doesn't have to be a mechanical, but an analog watch. 5 different ways a watch can save your life. I did a video on that a couple months ago.
That's actually cool. I should watch that.
Yeah. And I turned a lot of people when I did that, because a lot of folks, I like to pull people away from digital, and although I'm wearing a digital watch today, I like to pull people away from smart. I try to pull as many people away from smart watches as possible.
There you
that
go.
I agree with.
Digital,
I
analog.
agree with.
100%.
Yeah.
We concur on that, because I've shed my Apple Watch completely.
I need something that tells time.
Yes.
That doesn't create a new distraction for me. So when I wear this watch, the purpose is specifically to still keep track of time without being like, oh my God, like distracted. And
Yes.
I'm very distractible. Very distractible.
How long ago did you scrap your, what is that?
This is a Ver Racing R1.
Yep.
This is a quartz quartz solar movement, assembled here in America, sapphire crystal, steel case. I found this company, and they reached out to me, and they're like, "We like your content, and I'm hooked.
Yeah.
This company has it just right for me because they have They have, if you want a Myota, a movement assembled in Switzerland, they do that. Same model, same size, two different sizes of this. If you want the base quartz, you can do that for less money. If you don't care if it's made in America, you can go. They gave me all the options. I'm like, this is too easy.
So yeah, so Vere's a long time channel sponsor of mine. They sponsored I don't let a lot of companies do ad reads on my videos.
Yeah, I don't do
so Vere is one company, and only because in order to do an ad read on my videos, I have had to test your product and like it. Otherwise, if I don't like your product, I'm not going to take your money. And so
like, there's all these like for games and stuff. I'm like, I'm not playing it, so I'm not going to.
I've only done 3, and it's been hippastore.com, which is where I get my lawn equipment because I still have a couple of gas engine items. Everything else is electric. And Vere, and then I use Aura for my VPN. I run a VPN. But other than that, Vere has I'm grateful for them. They've been sponsoring my content for about 2 years. They just sent over a couple of new watches that I'll be doing.
I want to get that new chronograph, the green and blue one, man.
Yeah, they sent that over to me.
Looks so good.
They sent that.
You gotta have to tell me how it is because I'm this close to pulling the trigger on it already.
Yeah.
My problem is speaking of watches, I went to Citizen. They have like 400 watches. I didn't see a single watch that looked good. They are the ugliest, most miserable looking watches, and they're huge. What is the matter with these people?
How do I see that digital watch on your wrist there, Chad? What are you rocking there, buddy?
I have got the G-Shock multi-band Tough Solar, and I love it because it keeps I don't have to worry about the battery. I don't have to worry about the time. The time is exact on the naval clock, man. It is so great.
I don't know. I've never met a simple G-Shock. Maybe there is one.
Marcus.
I'm wearing one. I don't even know what model this is, but I'm right there with you.
I don't wrists though, because I can't rock that.
This is almost too big for me.
Wrists. Yeah, that looks big.
It is. This is the biggest watch I own. I like a 36 millimeter or a 40 millimeter max. It's kind of where I like to land at when it comes to that type of stuff.
Mine is the DW. GM M56 10U, and it's just the regular, the style. If you can see that at all, just like the regular style. You can't really, it's just the regular style, and I love it.
I'm reading Lou's comment. Your disparagement of a Citizen is blasphemy.
Hey, I love what you said. Going back to, I know we're on watches, but X, what you said about the significance and historical significance, and you being kind of attached to stuff like the field watch that you were issued in the Marines and things like that. I love having all my old grandfather stuff. I have a Camp King from the 40s that he carried at Utah Beach.
That's actually the video that I found your content the first time.
Did you really?
Was your grandfather's?
I saw that too.
Yeah, that was the video that I saw that I first saw for you. And
I loved that. I had just gotten that stuff back from my mom's house, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to do a video on this and see where it goes." So yeah,
you were so I could taste the feeling you were having about opening that box and like sharing that. Like, it was so cool to see you.
So you want to hear something really cool? You want to hear something really cool that I don't think I said in that video? It was 6 months before he died. He died at age 76 of emphysema and lung cancer because he smoked like a train his whole life. And my mom, and long story short, my mom and my grandmother were gone shopping. I was there watching an Alabama football game with him, and he just muted the TV and said, "Do you want to hear some stories?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And I'm, 15 years old. And he proceeds to tell me all this stuff that he never told my grandmother or grandfather or my grandmother or his daughter, and stuff they had never heard before. It was amazing. So I'm really attached to those objects and those items. And they're like, somebody told me, I heard something on Facebook the other day, like, if your house is on fire, what are some things that you would grab? And that is absolutely one of them, man, because those things are so precious to me.
Cool.
So anyway, yeah.
I saw somebody in chat that asked about a Garmin, a GPS below for what did they say? I think I missed it. For the group, I'm looking for a budget Garmin watch for work. What is the most that it gets GPS?
It's funny. It's part of this video. I swear to God, I have it over here. Can we grab it? Hold on.
I don't think I have any watches that have GPS by themselves. Like they need my phone to work, you know,
on sale for $230. It was, I think they're normally 400, but this one is probably the one I would go with. This is the Instinct 2 Solar.
Okay.
Make sure it's the solar variation. And this might actually be quite cheap, a lot cheaper than when I bought it. And the reason you go with the Instinct over the Phoenix series is they use like the more basic black and white LCD. It's not an LCD. It's like a liquid crystal kind of thing. And because it uses so little power, you can run it on solar only. And I haven't charged this watch in years. Literally, like I just leave it in battery saver mode and it generates enough energy to stay at 100% pretty much.
And the GPS works off a subscription service, or how does the GPS work? Okay.
There's no subscription service. So this works off of public GPS networks.
Yeah.
And it has point of way. It doesn't have like an actual map, but it has enough
waypoints. Yeah.
And but the other thing that's really good about it, what makes it so good, is I got it because I wanted to have something that measured blood oxygen accurately. And it was within like 2% of a actual blood oxygen thing. So it was a peace of mind when we before we had it, the vaccines or any of that stuff. I just wanted to know, hey, is my blood oxygen below 80? I probably should go to the hospital right now. That was basically the general gist. And so it was peace of mind for me on top of the other functions. But I definitely recommend this one. It's probably the easiest, like low hanging fruit as far as Garmin's concerned.
What's that brand? Suunto?
Don't go for those.
Well, that's what I thought you would have to go for when he was asking about that GPS watch. That's what I thought. That's the only brand I would know of with like a runner's watch or something like that, triathlete's watch.
Well, I would also, if you can, wait for one of the major sales. Instinct, Garmin Instinct 2 Solar. Oh, they are down to 300 though. That's good.
So
that's good.
Speaking of like the blood oxygen levels and or the blood oxygen saturation and levels and stuff like that. So Ultra Human sent me out this ring, and I don't know if I'm going to do a review of it. They sent it to me 3 months ago, and I've been wearing it to see how beat up it can get. And now my computer thinks I want you to hit the thumbs up. I guess you guys can do that. But
that's cool.
This thing, it is. I don't like wearing smart watches, but this thing is the most accurate sleep tracker I've ever owned.
That's cool.
And it also does the blood oxygen saturation levels, or blood oxygen levels for short. But it also does, it does, you can do workouts and stuff like that, and does your pedometer. But the thing I like about this is, unlike its competitors, once you spend the money, you don't have to pay a subscription service.
Yeah.
So, it's $350 or $300 on sale, but you're out the door and the full app is always available to you. And
is there one that has a prescription service? Because Garmin, I don't think does. I think it's just.
So, I don't know about the other ring competitors like Aura. I think Apple's working on one, and there's some other folks that have these rings.
A subscription,
Yeah. So they love the fact that they don't have the subscription service. I don't know, so the only Garmin I have that has a GPS is the Garmin InReach, and it does have a subscription service if you want to use the two-way satellite feature so that you can send a text message anywhere in the world.
That's cool though.
Yeah, so it's beneficial. It's a part of my SHTF kit. But the thing I like about it is you can turn on the subscription service right when you need it. You don't have to always do it. They have a competitor called SpotX who has the same thing, but that way, if you're deep off grid, you can use satellites to send text messages of where you are.
That's neat. I mean, I would happily pay $2 or $3 a text message.
Yeah.
If in an emergency situation.
So they're just like $21 a month in as many text messages until the thing dies. And it uses satellites. But Garmin, the inReach is like $350, whereas the Spot X, I think the starting price of that is like $250. And I think they have a subscription service as well. But are you guys into SHTF prep stuff or
you know what? I think that you can't really be in in everyday carry if you're not like you're kissing that edge where you're becoming. And I always was thinking the what ifs anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to have a reason. I want to have it. What if I want to have an adventure and I want to be capable of doing those things? Not necessarily what if,
everything
so
just comes down at once.
You still come to a similar conclusion, except you're less paranoid and a little bit less stressed out. You can end up with the same stuff practically.
What about you, Chad? I see you're in the woodworking. That's caught my attention over your shoulder there. That's
I do a little bit of that. My dad was into that before he passed away, and I've kind of taken up the mantle on that. And he's got a ton of. I inherited a bunch of his power tools, which is always very good. So I build a bunch of stuff, and why buy it when you can build it is what I say. And I'm into that. And I tell you what, here recently, and I don't prescribe to conspiracy theories necessarily, and I'm not a paranoid person, but it's one of those kinds of things like, if we didn't have power for 10 days, what would we do? There are things like, do I have enough drinking water for 3 days? There you go.
Do I have enough
exactly.
Basic? These are like some very basic questions. And when you realize that half of your food is literally dependent on power, you're like, maybe I should, I don't know.
I mean, I'm deep into that.
I know you're deep into that because I've been watching some of your stuff, and it's absolutely outstanding. And I've been going a couple of other channels and following some of their kits and stuff, and I'm building some of that kind of stuff out because, you'd rather have it and never need it, and rather than need it and not have it.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I'm real big into surviving inside of your house. So one of the first kits I believe you should make is a blackout kit, which is stuff like that. But I got MREs and I built relationship with these power station companies as well, which is, if you guys want those contacts, EcoFlow and All Powers and Anchor.
EcoFlow, I work with them too.
Yes, and I think that they're prepping to drop some new series in June. I just think that it's really big to just always be able to either survive in your house, and also I believe in a trading kit. I've traded with my neighbors in 2021 when Dallas was shut down, and we needed diapers, and my neighbors needed milk, and my refrigerator ran for 3 days, and so we were able to do some trading. So I believe in that type of stuff as well.
Kit. I mean,
I think this goes to a really good thing that actually maybe a great way to end this, actually, because it is I'm actually really having fun, but I probably should get to bed at some point. When you have the means, or like for me at least, EDC is like being equipped to help or being equipped to participate. When you have stuff to trade, or like you have the ability to like communicate with your neighbors, like, hey, do you need this? What? It also creates opportunities for like barbecues together, and all these opportunities, which, by the way, EDC always comes into play. You're always the hero with the knife, or the hero with the tool, or the screwdriver, or whatever. I love that. It's my favorite thing that this has allowed me to do, is to interact with people and be able to have the right tool for the job.
My favorite thing is giving a buddy a knife who doesn't carry a knife or a flashlight. And I had a buddy come over here last weekend. Our youngest daughter turned 1 or 2 weeks ago. And he runs his dog at night. And I gave him a Sofin flashlight. They sent me some flashlights, and I thought they were good, but I didn't need them. And he was like, man, I want to be able to illuminate a tree line to see if I see a bobcat, or if I see before we get to that area. And I appreciate this, and I gave another buddy a flipper knife. I can't even remember the brand, but just to see them smile at like something that we take for granted, because we're deep in this sauce. And Chad, I think you would agree. We're deep into this like game, and they're just like,
it anesthetizes you. And I know you feel it. I only get joy from an item 2 times if it's not something I carry every day, like like the multi-tool. when I unbox it to see it for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and when I give it to someone.
Yeah.
These are the only 2 times. And I get way more fun. Enjoy it way more fun when I give it than when I get it. Way more. Because like you get emails back, you get things like, oh, I got this thing. Here's a picture. And I love it. It's my favorite. And here's my question for you guys. What's your go-to gift, EDC gift thing that you carry, but you can then hand off? Like you like carrying it, but if they had the opportunity, that they didn't have it, you would immediately hand it to them just to shock them.
For me, it's the Civivi Mini Praxis. I actually have 3 of them in my car. And because they're such a good knife and it's so cheap, I don't feel bad about giving a $30 knife away. But when someone who is not a knife person gets that knife, they go, wow, this is like a really expensive knife. And I go, not really, but you enjoy, and it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful today. I completely get what you're saying about that first impression is great, but then giving it away is almost better.
Way better. So for me personally, I mean, I'm not giving away crap that's on my body because I want it, but I do purposely keep stuff that I will give to a buddy in a heartbeat. My barber, he was cutting my hair a couple of weeks ago, and he's having issues with his clippers. And I walked out to the truck and gave him a Skeletal. I was like, hey, listen, you can get this. These bits aren't the greatest, but you're fixing clippers, so you're not going to be breaking bits every week versus if you're hard using as an HVAC guy or something like that. And he loves it. A couple years ago, I gave him a nutsack admin pouch. He uses that thing every day. So,
by giving a gift to me, and someone probably started giving you a gift. It was a father or a cousin or a friend.
The Marine Corps, yeah.
They gave
Marine Corps.
They gave me a Gerber. They gave me a Gerber Fast Tanto Auto, and I still have it. I was able to get permission to take it when I left the Marines.
Oh, and, you still have yours?
Yeah, S30V, aggressive Tanto, partially serrated. I had Josh Smith over at MKC, Montana Knife Company. He sharpened it for me a couple weeks ago, and I love that knife. It's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It makes me want to carry an extra something just to have it on hand. But everyone knows that I keep the goodie bag in the car because I have I already have 2 entire boxes of giveaway, even though I give away stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And whenever I go visit family, I load this thing it's like Christmas every time Saint Nick shows up, because literally they've always called me Nick, growing up. So it's like, oh, Saint Nick's here. It's always a good time.
Chad, so your go-to is the Praxis. Okay. So yeah, for me, I don't have like a go-to per se. I just tend to know that I have a knife, and the knife on my body is usually something that, like my Hogue Deca, I've been carrying that thing since January. It's gonna be hard. It's hard for you. You're not. Is it
the Warncliffe or the?
Yeah, it's a little warning. It's the CPM 20CV version.
Yeah.
And I finally convinced myself to start carrying this thing. But if this is all I had on me, I'm not giving this away. But if I got something in the truck, or something like that, then yeah.
Well, I've got 2 or 3 mini Praxises. I've got 2 or 3 i3Ts from Olight.
Oh, those are easy to give away.
And for people that buy the Walmart lights, for people that buy the Walmart lights that do
blow your mind when you think about
they're
that.
like, whoa, this is amazing. I'm like, guys, this is like
waterproof.
The lowest
it's
grade
actually waterproof.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
they just want to be.
Great.
They want to be the hero that finds the stuff under the couch, under the bed, or behind the cabinet. And that's why I tell people flashlights they're good for that type of stuff. Because, I get brownie points for my wife when I find crap under the couch that her phone cannot see. So.
Yep. Well, your phone's fine. Your phone is good.
I actually worked with Next Tool on designing a keychain multi-tool. And I was adamant about a couple things. Number one, I want to be able to give it to a 6-year-old.
Yes.
And a 106-year-old. So it has
no
blade in it, but it has scissors. It's new. It hasn't come out yet.
Oh, it's new. Okay.
I have it. Prototype.
I like this one.
So here it is. Here's the prototype. So it's just like their Next Tool Mini Sailor, except that I wanted it to be really light. So they drilled a crap ton of holes. They got rid of half of the outer layer, and they replaced the metal in it with a glow-in-the-dark little tab instead of the steel, so it makes it glow in the dark, and it's lighter, which is awesome.
That's cool. That's
But
cool.
the thing for me is it's a little bitty pair of pliers, and it's also a scissor with screwdrivers. That's it, and it's something I could give to anyone. That was the whole point, is to have a tool that I could literally walk up and give them the box, and I'm going to convince Nextool to send me about 180 of these.
Because a normal person is going to take that, Dominic, and they're gonna keep it. That's what they're going to use for like 80 to 90% of the stuff they do for the rest of their life, man.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted something I give to like kids. I want my daughter to be able to have one, and if she accidentally takes it to school, she won't get in trouble because this is perfectly fine.
Yeah, I just gave my daughter a Leatherman style PS because it doesn't have the knife. I mean, it's TSA friendly, but I want her. She's 15. I'm trying to get her used to being able to just cut a little something. I
can't believe they discontinued the style PS. I'm so
yeah.
I can't believe that either. That's
well, okay. I know exactly why.
The squirt, I'm upset about still to this day. The squirt and the juice. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know why they did it.
Why?
But the reason is, and it was, if you go to my comments when I first announced the squirt discount, you can see the reason.
Right here, Paul.
There were people there saying, "Oh, and they warrantied it 4 times, like because they were either breaking the pliers or something like that, and just using it like a pair of pliers, not a glorified tweezer, which is what it really is." Yeah. And they had 25-year warranty on these little tiny tools.
Wow.
So they screwed themselves because they were doing the same warranty level replacement for a tool that could not withstand like any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So they riveted the damn thing. So like every time it broke, they gave them a new one.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, they could bring it back, but they would not have the 25-year warranty. They could, but they're probably just going to skip it, I think.
Just keep rolling that thing over.
I just saw Marcus O'Brien in the chat. Did you see his video about the best Leathermans?
Yeah, I like that one. That was good.
I loved that video. That was amazing.
Good video.
Yeah, that was first off, I like his accent. You know, it freaking makes my wife melt when I put him on the big screen. But they got this Scottish American over here melting wives' hearts. But I thought it was a good video. That was a great video.
Yeah, I heard.
But the squirt and the juice, I mean, it's just, I remember I did a giveaway, and I gave away 6 Leatherman juice multi-tools, and I decided to purchase them and just send them to people's address instead of sending them to my. So I bought everything. I did the giveaway on a Friday. I shut down the live stream, logged on the Leatherman, did 5 orders. And I did 6 orders, sent one to my house, and then sent the other 5 to the people's houses. And the Leatherman called me on a Saturday. A rep called me on a Saturday and said, "Hey, we were just wondering, is this credit card fraud because you're sending 5 Leathermans to 5 different addresses?" And I was like, "Oh no, I can appreciate the fact that they called me to figure out, and it was under Marine-X, and to figure out if this was a fraud charge before they allowed the order to go through." So I like that type of stuff.
I think the juice was another great example of what happened with the squirt.
Mm-hmm.
The pliers, such a compact tool in the S2, but every other version they had was this big honking handle on this really tiny little plier head, and none of them made sense except for 2 tools practically. It was the KF4 and the S2, and they discontinued those pretty quickly, unfortunately. And they never made it to Europe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, JD
like where
said
it would actually
Leatherman Micro. I love the Micro, but he's right about the scissors. They always kind of get choked out. They always bind.
And they're now $50.
Oh, good grief.
$50.
Oh wait, did I get his country wrong? Did I get Marcus' country wrong?
I can't. Marcus. Aha. Well, to be fair, all the Scottish or Irish, they don't want to.
Oh, okay. My bad. My bad. Me and my wife watch you, and she's just like, he has a great voice, great set of chops on him. And I was like, yeah, I agree with that. If you were single, you'd have to go out and freaking listen to his voice all day. Scottish and
Irish get along very well, though.
Yeah. So I can. So he says, "Mine got okay."
Can't understand either of them at all.
No, it just depends, man. Yeah, hopefully, because the juice has gone away before and came back, and I'm hopeful it does the same thing again. I almost sold my juice when it was in production. Just like the free P4 and the free P2 have slowly disappeared off the website, right? You only get them on Amazon. And so I'm thinking, like, what's about to happen? Are they going all in on the ARC, or are they bringing out another free series, or what?
Yeah, okay. I have my speculation on a lot of this stuff. None of which is unfortunately founded in fact. The problem is, what really bothers me is Leatherman is acting scared. They all their moves are all these kind of like stepping back and not doing things and hiding stuff. I'm like, where's the leaders that were what they were? I don't understand.
You think that's a little bit of corporate culture kind of getting
I
to
don't
them?
think
Like they're...
I think I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that it has nothing to do with the CEO or the company necessarily, but it has to do with shareholders. I'm pretty sure that I think that they unfortunately have the issue of being a publicly traded company, and I think that is what's killing them.
I mean, it could come back though, because the mutt went away, and then now it's back. All 4 variants.
$200 though.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But no, so the P2 and the P4 will come back. I'm determined. I almost guarantee they will come back, but they will come back in the ARC tool set without the ARC price, which is exactly what they need to do. I mean, that's just business. That's just good business, is bringing back the tools with the tool set everyone wanted. Because look at how well the ARC is selling. For all of its expensiveness, it is selling like crazy.
Yeah. When the ARC first came out, people asked me, am I going to get one or do I recommend it? And I just tell folks, if you don't carry a multi-tool on your human body every day, I don't think the ARC is worth it. Or if you want to stop carrying a knife and you just want to carry a multi-tool, like in the armrest of your vehicle, maybe on your person because of the Magna Cut. But if you already carry, I had FOMO for the ARC, and then I did the modification on my free P4 and the FOMO went away. But
I think I said the exact same thing. Is like, if it's not on your person, first of all, multi-tool gets less valuable the further away it is from you. Right? Like if it's not on you or in the bag that you're wearing on you every day, the cost you should dictate to that tool needs to drop dramatically, because you get to a point where you have to ask the question, why not just carry a small toolkit? You have to ask that question. There's a point, like, yeah, okay, it's in my glove box. Why not just a small toolkit under your seat?
That's exactly why I haven't bought one yet. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
wait, you don't have one?
Justify that. I do not have
one. So you just have the free. You have the next tool and the free T4.
This is they have the sawed obviously, and the next tool, and then the free P4. What was the mod that you did to the P4 that you keep talking about, X?
It's a 3D printed thing.
So I have a 3D
you got the
printer.
Other one. You got the other one.
Yeah, I have the actual
the nice one, the milled one.
The milled one, yeah. I went on eBay, and there's a guy that's selling, I don't know where from, but they're selling the one for
They're Chinese, yeah.
Yeah. And it works with the lock like it should.
Oh,
and
awesome.
It has the magnetic, and it also has the 4mm on the side if you still want that. Even I never.
Yeah, I got the older one that has the 4mm on the back side, so you don't have to open it, and the 4mm screws. I like that one a lot.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah.
But you can do the same mod with the T4. If you're okay with scrapping some of the tool set, the T4 still has that box. I use the box opening tool quite often because I don't have to get tape all over my knife.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
But that's just me. I don't. I wouldn't want to scrap that tool. But I've seen a lot of mods to the T4. The T4 is easily moddable because it doesn't have security bits in it.
Yep.
Yeah, the Torx, and the same thing is true with the ARC. If you were left-handed, you can swap the blade with the pretty easily.
Yep.
Like opposite side, and the thing unscrews. And well, actually, that one is technically not exchangeable to be left-handed, but the ARC is,
because they milled the holes on the other side.
Yeah, the hole goes all the way through. Thank God. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever want to check out the ARC, I'll send you one. I have 3, so you're welcome.
Oh, okay.
One.
Yeah, I would love to do that, but at the same time, it's one of those kinds of things where I never could justify the cost or the use of it. I was like, if I'm just going to carry that around, then like you said, what's the point in carrying that around and not having a dedicated toolkit? Why am I carrying around a blade or knives that I like so much that give me, like y'all said before, joy, a little bit of joy? why am I carrying that around if I'm carrying around a Leatherman arc? So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
It's weird now that like I have the arc and I was carrying the pre P4. I talked trash about the P4 and then realized that it had something I really liked about it, and I was like, crap,
What is
they're
that?
discontinuing it because it doesn't have like small components like the precision driver and the bit
Yeah.
holder. When you DBK figured this out when they tested the arc, I wish I had been the one. I'm so glad they did it. They started using the hammer section,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
knocked the bits right out. Like just they lost that mic. They thankfully they found the precision driver and they found the bit, but I'm like, oh crap, that actually makes it much worse. At least for that aspect.
Yeah, I never thought about that because I mean, this bit doesn't fall out when I use the hammer. I just used it the other day on my mailbox to try to give some tough love to the little pull tab on there. I don't even think
I
about it.
love that about the free series though, to have the hammer. Like it didn't change from the P2 and the P4, but now they're calling it a hammer, which I think is pretty funny. Because everyone was doing it. I'm sure everyone was doing it. It's just they weren't like.
They just adopted whatever they got an idea from that was crowdsourced functionality there.
Well, the thing is, like the goat tool. The
Yeah.
goat tool, one of the things that goat tool has an advantage is it's only 7.5 ounces. It still has a hammering section, and it has potential long term. It's mostly everyone uses things as hammers that aren't hammers. It's nice to have a section that's not going to take a lot of abuse because it's kind of designed for it. When I had the signal, I did use that hammer more than I expected to.
Yeah, I just sold my mutt because I wasn't using it. So when I had the mutt
You're gonna
initially,
regret that so bad, man.
you know what's so
I
crazy?
sold 2 mutts. I finally got another one because I'm like, I'm never selling it again.
So what's so crazy is because they go out of size. So I shop my exchange because I'm a vet, I can go on shopmyexchange.com
Yeah,
and
that's
buy
good.
this stuff for tax free, and they're normally cheaper. But they have all four variants of the mutt are on that base website, and they're cheaper than Leatherman. But I sold it because I wasn't using it. I find myself using Avid tools for my boomsticks whenever I'm on the range, and the mutt was being used whenever I would take my ARs to the range for any small adjustments, or if I carbon or whatever. But I was taking the Avid tools with me, and then I have other Leathermans, so the mutt was really just there for comparison sakes. It really wasn't getting utilized. That's why I
It
ended up
really
selling.
belongs, I think, in a hunting kit, in a person who is going whose weight is important, and you need to combine all those tools into a small platform. That is exactly the output because it has a threaded section in the plier for gun cleaning or any other attachment, along with the ability to be expanded very easily. Like it has a very small niche, but the niche it fills is there's almost nothing that does it well. Like other tools might do it, but I worry that they'll hold up the way a mutt will. Like I pretty much sure that that tool could go through war and it would probably hold up.
Yep.
It's the crowning achievement of Tim Leatherman before he left. That was the last tool I believe he worked on.
Was the mutt?
Yeah, and it shows because it is like an engineering piece of art. It is beautiful.
I mean, it's great. The mud is fantastic. I just wasn't using it enough.
I'm not using it. It just sits there. Being beautiful.
And I didn't feel right just letting it sit in a drawer.
That's fair.
When I know that folks may use it. And when I go hunting, I don't clean my way. I hunt a lot, and I don't until I get back home. I don't clean anything anyway. Yeah. So matter of fact, we're in the middle of dove season right now. But I don't think about all that until I get back home. And if I need micro adjustments, then I bring up, I don't need my fix-it sticks with me because I'm not torquing down my scopes unless I have something horrible go wrong. So I'm not making those type of adjustments. But Chad, one thing I was wondering about earlier, I used to have a kit, like an actual kit I put in my bags, and I scrapped it for a multi-tool because I wasn't using it enough. Are you using that kit so much that you don't find yourself interested in like a bigger size multi-tool at all, or what?
Yes, I have a one of those tough possum belt pouches that I use at work, and I'm always kind of taking apart servers and taking apart computers and different things. I have a similar driver to this right here. This is my Ultim driver with the bearings on the top of it. I've got some of that, but I've got a bit kit as well, and a little small set of screwdrivers and stuff like that, because most of the stuff I'm doing is small anyway. But then when I get into bigger stuff, it's going to be the dedicated, the dedicated toolkit. I got to take some stuff off the wall tomorrow, and I'm going to have to use, an impact drill for that kind of stuff. So that's obviously, so I've kind of moved myself out of the functionality and actually using it, because I was like, when would I actually use a multi-tool other than, being not at work? And it just did not justify the price for me. And I was just like, well, this toolkit, there's something to be said, I think, about saying this is what I have is already good enough. I don't need to move on or upgrade. You know what I mean? I think there's something to be said for that. And I was honestly kind of proud of myself for resisting the FOMO, if you know what I mean, for the Leatherman art for a little while.
Here to resist the buy.
For me, last thing I'll say is I was the same way. We bought this house was a hoarder house that we bought from a lady who she didn't close the garage for 20 years. The city was about to take the house from her. The pool didn't run for 20 years. And so I never thought about a multi-tool until I moved into this house, because I was walking around the house fixing so much stuff randomly that I don't want to lug around a Maxpedition small toolkit. I find myself in one of my kids' bathrooms, and the water inlet hose needs a little bit of tightening. What am I going to do? So that's why I ended up finding myself walking around with a multi-tool more, and it has just grown closer to my body ever since.
I've come to the good realization there are only two reasons to own or use a multi-tool. One is time savings. If that item is going to generate income for you or generate time for you, which is kind of the same thing.
Yep.
Then it can make sense. It's no different than these right here. Like, people spend a lot of money on organizers for the same reason. They save time. Time equals money. That's what a multi-tool is in its entirety.
I wasn't going to talk about your pack outs. I use Metabo's pack out system.
So the other part of this, and it's kind of like going back to, like, let's say, no matter how much tools you have, no matter how good they are, if you were, say, traveling and weight was important, like you had a backpack and you were going a distance, every ounce, every little bit of space matters. That's when multi-tools are kind of at their best. One of those two things. They're either when space is minimal, like let's say you're in a server, like you have to get between servers and you can't bring your toolkit in there. It's exactly it's exactly the situation.
Yep.
That's pretty much it. Other than that, it's just because you want to. Pretty much.
So now I have to go. I'll get off the stream and go buy an ARC. So.
No, if you're gonna buy something, well, we'll talk.
Actually, and when you talk about all that stuff, like I have used, again, I bring up the T4, but that's the Flex is. I've really got my eyes on the Flex. That's why I wanted to ask you about that, and I can't wait to ask them about it at Blade Show. But most of the things that I need, cutting LAN cables and doing different things like this, cutting copper wires, stuff like that, could be accomplished by this. Yeah, they do make specialty tools.
They're going to make, like the Roxon Flex, they're already designing specialty tools that go inserted, and it's open source, so you'll see new people make them too.
You get me a LAN crimper on one of those, that's a game changer right there. Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm so trash at stripping wires because I don't do it enough. I need the actual tool. So I grab the actual tool and to make sure.
No, I'm not. I've seen the professionals use a proper knife, and they're done so fast. I'm like, what just happened?
Nah, I was stripping wire for a new ceiling fan to take out an old. We had a boob light bulb in the ceiling, and I was like, there's not a lot of wire hanging out this ceiling. Like, if I jack this up, I'm gonna have to, so I go get the actual tool. I'm not as good as you.
No. All right. No, it's a good time to go. We've been actually on here for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yes.
Nice.
But I really enjoyed it. Thank you guys for coming on. If you guys are watching this and you're on my channel, make sure you go follow these guys. Always making some great content. We'll do it again. This was a blast.
Yeah, same with the folks on my channel. I appreciate that.
All right.
Yes, appreciate it so much, fellas. Thank y'all very much.
All right.